Fellow Zambians, yesterday the National Crusade team of Zambia Must Prosper held its meeting. At this meeting, various topics were discussed, and indeed, I am glad to report to the nation that a date for the launch of our party manifesto has been set. In due course, the nation will be informed when this will happen. As Zambia Must Prosper, we also want to address a few national issues that are burning in the hearts of many Zambians before we get to the launch of our manifesto. Number one, national unity. You will recall that not once but several times, as the President of Zambia Must Prosper, I have indicated to the nation that during the time when we were in the alliance with the UPND, national unity was at the top of the agenda. And this is one topic that we needed to be convinced that UPND, under the leadership of Hakainde Hichilema, was going to pursue vigorously, aggressively, and indeed with a sense of difference from what the PF did. Zambia today, I'm sad to report, is not enjoying national unity. The country has been divided due to lack of credible, visionary leadership. Anyone denying this is living an illusion. Our chiefs are living in abject poverty. Our chiefs' subjects are living in poverty as well. They are living in fear, hunger, and desperation because of the failed FISIP farming program for this calendar year. This has brought a lot of anxiety in our people. Disunity is also coming because the political leadership of the UPND is failing to show leadership and genuinely unite the nation under one flag of one Zambia, one nation. If unity exists, it is in the mind of the UPND leadership, and it can only be said to exist because it only exists in certain regions or for certain regions of this country. This cannot be allowed to continue. As Zambia Must Prosper, we shall endeavor to bring a sense of belonging for all Zambians, not one section, not some certain regions of this country, but all sections of our nation. Our nation is not enjoying peace as well because the economic situation in the country has produced a lot of suffering. There is hunger in our homes, and the cost of living has gone up drastically. Because of this, our national character is being destroyed. Our morals are decaying. Crime is on the rise. Families are breaking up. Divorce is on the rise because of financial pressure on our people's homes and families. The UPND government has failed to provide clear policies on the economy and the future of this country. Let me address the UPND praise singers for a moment. The UPND leadership, I dare say, is an ungrateful group of people that will never say thank you to you, the praise singers, nor to anybody who helped this leadership get into power, let alone reward anyone who helped it get into power. This leadership is a group of people who are merely capitalists at heart. They will not reward you. They will not give you any support. They will not give you any meaningful empowerment. Let me ask if you think I'm lying. How many of you praise singers today can stand on an anthill and say, after the 2021 general elections, the UPND leadership went round this country to even say thank you to you? How many of you can say that? How many alliance partners, so-called alliance partners, have been rewarded for the help and indeed the effort they put in during the campaigns last year? How many of you as praise singers have received any help at a personal level, at group level, at a cooperative level, or even at party level? Muilabe Powufi. Answer these questions truthfully, and don't ask this question because namu bumukamo, nangu namu dovolamo. Yo, answer these questions truthfully. Have you been rewarded yourself for the many hours you spent campaigning for this group of capitalists? Have you achieved anything out of this UPND leadership? The truth is, the UPND can never say thank you because all they know is to use you, misuse you, and abuse you. And if you don't know, now you know. In fact, the UPND election victory was never celebrated by the party officials in the various provinces, let alone at national level. Now, if UPND was a family, if UPND was a home, and there is no celebration to talk about, how can a leader who does not manage to celebrate within his home, within his family, celebrate with the nation? An empty mind will never write an idea, let alone a book or a vision that you will follow. An empty mind will always tell lies and boast. And if you believe those lies, if you believe the amount of boasting, then you as praise singers are living in a fool's paradise. This leadership that you have, this leadership that you want to protect, you, the praise singers, will not take you anywhere. In fact, you will just make the majority of the silent Zambians hate you for things that you don't even know, let alone understand. Stop defending that which cannot be defended. The UPND leadership, Wakaso, the UPND leadership is greedy. It is selfish. I know them. 3/4 of the things that they've promised you, never have they given you, and they will never give you. The other quarter will be lip service, because all they'll tell you is, hang on, give us more time. How much time do you need to receive empowerment? Ask yourself those questions and be real with yourselves. As Zambia must prosper, we have a program for our youths. We believe that our youths must be either at school or at work. And we have programs that we are going to steer up in the educational sector, in the informal sector, in the agriculture sector, and indeed in small-scale industries to prop up production for the youths. Vayufi, wait and you shall hear when our manifesto is launched. Let me speak briefly about the economic affairs of the nation. As Zambia must prosper, we've been observing, and we note with regret that this nation was told so many lies on the economic front that we thought by putting Hakainde Hichilema in State House, economic solutions were going to come and visit this country quickly. In fact, speaking for myself, I had a lot of personal interactions with my good friend, the president of this country. We engaged one-on-one during the formation of the alliance, and we agreed that the economy must be one of the areas we must tackle to solve the economic problems of this country. I'm sad to report that even I was lied to. The president was speaking of numbers as high as $25 billion that he could mop up using his friends, his contacts, and indeed just the influence, credibility that he could build around with his business partners around the world. This, unfortunately, has not happened, and it is a lie. If you think I'm lying, here's the proof in the pudding. Mwebe na Zambia. Whenever the Secretary of State of the United States, okay, the Director of the IMF, the Director General of the IMF visits a poor nation such as Zambia, that should be enough confidence booster for any nation and any investor or any trader to invest in Zambia. We should have seen the Kwacha appreciating merely by that visit, because it was giving credence to the leadership that they think is necessary for this nation. Apart from the sweet words that those two ladies provided and said about our country, and them visiting and watching our elephants and giraffes in the game park near Lusaka, there's nothing that we have seen. In fact, the economy has plummeted after their visit. The fuel prices have gone up. Electricity tariffs are about to go up. The FISIP program, as I've said, is a total shambles. As we speak today, the cost of living, not only in the towns of Lusaka and the towns of Zambia and the cities of Zambia, but even the rural parts of Zambia, the cost of living has gone up. I was just receiving some intelligence reports across the country from our youths and our friends in various sectors. I know, for example, that in Western Province, crime rate has gone up. There are people, junkies in Western Province who have invaded Western Province and are beating up people, and in certain cases killing people because of the bad economy. Crime rates have gone up even in far-flanked places like Kabompo, Mwinilunga, Kaputa, Chiengi, Nchelenge. I have received reports as far as Sengahio, Nakonde. Crime has gone up even in Chirundu. Crime has gone up in Feira. Crime has gone up in Lundazi. What is this government doing? Lawlessness creeps in slowly. Lawlessness is not just about cadres. It's about keeping your people safe. The peace of this country, the peace that we have treasured since our forefathers won our political independence, is at risk because this government is failing on the economic front. Alaka womba kaviye kamunda. Na weke shapo. Akawomba kaviye kamunda. When people are hungry, they are angry. Trust me, that's why crime has gone up. In Lusaka, we have seen this. We are seeing it in the various compounds, even here. crimes of defilement, rape, theft, murder, burglary, they've gone up. For those kids who are educated but have no jobs because of poor leadership and the lack of policies by the UPND government, they are now getting into what we term as cyber fraud. These are the kids who are breaking into banks using computers. These are technically minded kids who are broke, don't have jobs, and the government is watching the scenario. This is a true reflection of the leadership we have today. The economy is also bad because we don't learn from our history. Let me tell you a story for some of you who are not old enough to remember. When the MMD came to power, our late second Republican president, Frederick FTJ Chiluba, he had a finance minister in the name of Ronald Penza, who came up with a privatization program under the IMF, and they thought they were going to solve the economic flaws of this country. We ended up selling and privatizing most of the companies that UNIP, our first government, had built. And some of the people in leadership today who took part in that privatization exercise ended up being very rich out of this because they put themselves as receiver managers, as consultants, as accountants, and various other titles they gave themselves. But they were given privatization jobs. They never declared certain interests that they had in certain companies. Some of the assets this nation had cannot be accounted for today because of this privatization exercise. But what I know is that some people ended up very rich. We don't know where they got their money from, but they ended up very rich. Fast forward. Today, we have a president in State House who also has in his ranks a Bank of Zambia governor who is IMF, World Bank trained or aligned, a finance minister who's World Bank or IMF aligned. They come up with monetary policies that are hurting Zambians but are pleasing to the IMF, which are not real for an economy such as Zambia. Tule chula. Recently, you will recall, there was a circular which was issued that they were going to start mopping up the kwacha out of circulation. Who is this going to hurt? Niwa la chula. Don't answer that question. Let it simmer and sink into your minds. Alechi kwanka bachimwina kumampalanya. Mwebe na Zambia, it is time to wake up and smell the coffee. The UPND government has no answers to this economy. They are practicing textbook economics. Tafia wombe. Tuala chula fie. Zambia must prosper. As soon as it launches its manifesto, campaign kumfufo tuala mieva, nama solution tuala mipela for the nation. This one-term government, the UPND government, has failed to deliver because everything they talked about was based on lies. We have practical solutions which we have thought through, and we are still polishing some of our implementation plans. So you will see the difference when we launch our manifesto. But I am on my knees for the nation. Please, Zambia Must Prosper is asking you to start opening your mind and start looking at the UPND government as a failed project. This UPND government does not mean well for this country. All it wants is to stay in power. In fact, some of the leadership in the UPND, all they wanted was a CV that Nabafika, Balipo Bakateka. That's not what leadership is about. Zambia Must Prosper is promising you a servant, duty of care leadership, which is also going to give you a sense of belonging and a sense of knowing that you have hope in the future. Our manifesto will be one of its kind, but you will see when we launch it that we would have thought through the various angles of how to revitalize this country, especially the economy. We are going to target production, not consumption, production. The UPND can sing all it wants, but it does not have the vision nor the policies to help you. In conclusion, let us get together as Zambians. To my fellow opposition leaders, let us begin to meet and talk about this country in earnest. We need solutions that are going to help our people. But this we must be agreed upon. The UPND is a failed project, and in 2026 it must leave power. We must get this power and start redirecting this nation's future. Imwe ba praise singer na bonse abale yumfatinwa UPND member. Wake up. You are not going anywhere. To our chiefs in all the 288 chiefdoms, to alata mpoko mutanda dilaba shamfumo. We shall visit you and we shall talk to you. We shall listen to you. And we shall make sure that we have these consultations on a regular basis. We'll sell our manifesto to you. And in areas where we're not clear, help us think through. We know that our chiefs are suffering and we will not allow this. We shall respect our traditional leaders. The villagers who are the majority in this country, we shall look after you and we shall ensure that there shall be no disasters such as the FISIP programs. My name is Kelvin Fubebwalia and I am the president of Zambia Must Prosper. God bless you and I thank you.